We'll start with Kunti Maharani's story. Basically, she's still a young girl, and she's in her father's palace. Her father is Kunti Bhoj. Kunti Bhoj is actually, he's a king, and he's adopted Kunti because he didn't have his own child, so he's adopted from his cousin. So Kunti is Kunti Bhoj's cousin's daughter. So she was very young, and she was very nice and kind hearted, and always helping, and very, very obedient to her father. She would do anything for her parents, just to make her parents be happy. So one day, so these kings used to invite a lot of these special guests. So one day there was a special guest coming to Kunti Bhoj's palace, and his name was Durvasa. Durvasa Muni is actually very famous for one thing. Can you think, what is he famous for? What can a Muni be famous for? A sage be famous for?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yes.
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Curses. Yeah, actually he had all these qualities also, but he would get angry very quickly. So so everybody knew that if you are actually serving Durvasa Muni, you have to be very, very obedient. So they chose Kunti because she was a very obedient child from the very beginning, and because she was obedient to her parents, she was learning a lot of things. When you are obedient, when you listen to your parents, when you listen to your teachers, then you gain a lot of knowledge, right? Because you're not just arguing all the time, why should I do this, why shouldn't I do this. You know that your parents are your well-wishers, your teachers are your well-wishers. If they are asking you to do something, then you do it, right? So she was that kind of a child. And so Durvasa Muni had these at very weird times he would call. He would say, okay, I want this, I want a glass of water in the middle of the night. So Kunti would quickly.
Well, I'd also tell my mother that.
Yeah, sometimes you also ask for water, no?
Who's the guru in the house then? Okay, fine, that's a good question.
So then, so Durvasa Muni would ask for a glass of water, or he would ask for a fruit which is not easily available, right? Like just imagine, I know dragon fruit is available very freely.
Yes.
Or what fruit?
Jackfruit.
Jackfruit. Yeah, some fruit which is not available at that particular season, he would ask Kunti, I want to have that fruit.
Suppose he wants to have
In the
mangoes.
winters,
Yeah, in the
mangoes.
winters if he wants mangoes.
When he wants.
But Kunti was such an intelligent girl that she would, somewhere from her heart, somebody was inspiring her. Who resides in our heart? Krishna was always inspiring her. She would always have this intuition that, okay, Durvasa Muni would want this now. So she would already arrange for it. And this intuition and this wisdom comes only when you are connected to the Lord. So she was a devotee from the very beginning. And when she was serving Durvasa Muni also, Krishna would always guide her from within her heart. So she was able to please Durvasa Muni mostly every time. And Durvasa stayed for a full 1 year. Imagine a guest comes to your house and he stays for 1 full year, not for 1 day or 1 week, 1 month. So imagine a young girl, she is not more than like 14, 15, 16, right? And she is serving a guest full time for 1 full year. So imagine how happy and how pleased Durvasa Muni is at the end of the year when he has to actually leave. So he calls Kunti and he says, I want to give you a boon. He's famous for cursing, right? But this is the first time he's really, really happy with someone. So he says, now I really want to give you a boon. Now Kunti says that, I did not serve you because I wanted something from you. My service was unconditional. It was not motivated that, I'm going to get a reward. I really don't want anything. That pleased Durvasa Muni even further. He said, now I'll definitely give you a boon, because if I'm happy with somebody, I always give a benediction. And if I'm angry with somebody, I definitely curse that person, right? So he said, okay, now Durvasa Muni, see these sages, they can see your future. So he knew that Kunti will need a boon like this. So he just didn't give him something like a basket of apples or something which would actually have a very temporary meaning in Kunti's life, but he gave something which would actually benefit her later in her life. So he said, okay, I'm going to give you a boon, and the boon is that you can call upon any demigod and ask.
Like Surya Dev, Vayu Dev.
You can call upon any demigod and ask whatever you want from that demigod, right? Isn't that a brilliant boon? Isn't this really an amazing boon? And it's very unusual. I mean, if I want to see sun god today, I know there's a sun and there is a sun god residing in the planet, but then I can't ask him to come in this room, right? If he comes, he's going to like light up the whole room and burn everything, right? So I would not ask for that because I'm not qualified. But Kunti was really qualified, and we saw her qualification. The first qualification that she had was that she was very obedient. The moment we surrender to our seniors, to our elders, we get a lot of benedictions in return, So, so this was the boon that Durvasa Muni gave, and then he left. Now we will see how this boon actually helped Kunti and also brought a little bit of distress in her life. Okay, so
From that boon.
yeah,
That
exactly.
story. She calls the sun god just to check the moon. And
Yeah,
then
yeah. So now see, we have to have faith in our elders when they give us something, or they, sometimes they chastise us also, they scold us also for our own good.
For example.
So then we should have full faith in our elders. She also had faith, but she just wanted to test it. I mean, will this really work? Can I actually call, if I'm looking at the moon in the night and I want the moon god to come in my room, will he come?
No.
Yeah, but she wanted to test this. So she looked outside her window and she saw that the sun was really shining brightly and brilliantly. And she said, okay, let me just, do some revision of the mantra. Maybe if I forget it after some time, let me just revise the mantra. So she said the mantra, and he appeared right in front of her. And he said, okay, ask me for something. And Kunti said, look, I don't want to ask you for anything. You can go back. I just wanted to see whether you'll come or not. So he said, but I cannot go without giving you a boon. So what I'll do is I'll give you a child. And this child was called actually Karna, because the child came out from Kunti's ears. Okay, Karna. Karna means ears. Okay, so that's why he was named Karna. And he had these magnificent, earrings. He was born with these earrings, and he was born with an armor, and he was shining like gold. Okay, because after all, he's sun god's son. So Kunti actually couldn't keep the child because she was still not married, but she kind of wrapped him around and placed him in a basket and made him float. Yeah, and the child left from there. So now Kunti actually, when she grew up, she got married to Pandu. Remember,
Yeah.
3 sons. Yeah, and who were these 3 sons? The first one was Dhritarashtra, then Pandu and Vidur. So Pandu, the second son, he got married to Kunti, and he also had a second wife called Madri. Okay, now Kunti got married to Pandu, but what happened was that Pandu actually, he was a very valiant king, and he was very powerful, but he also wanted to actually, go to the forest, and he was, he was quite satisfied with ruling the kingdom. He wanted a break, and he went to the forest. Now, when he was in the forest, these kings actually, they have to keep on practicing their hunting skills, right? So once he was out hunting, and by mistake he killed one bird, a swan, right? And that time, this backstory is that the swan was actually with his, he got this curse because the swan was actually a sage. He had taken the form of a swan, and he was roaming around the forest with his wife, and that time when he was with his wife, Pandu actually killed him. So then this swan actually cursed Pandu that you will also be killed like this when you will be with your wife in the forest, right? Now Pandu has this curse, and he comes back to his hermitage and tells Kunti that now they cannot have a child. So Kunti now she remembers her boon which she got from Durvasa Muni, and she says now this is the right time to use that boon. So she actually discloses this whole episode where Durvasa Muni came to her house and gave her this boon, and she tells Pandu that now we can actually have children if you want, because I can call upon any demigod and we can have these children. So Pandu was very happy, because every king, his responsibility is that he should give a heir to the throne, right? So then Pandu told Kunti that why don't you call upon Dharamraj. Dharamraj is the lord of justice, right? And I want a very virtuous king. I mean, I want a very virtuous son. So please call upon Dharamraj. Yes, you want to ask something? So then Kunti called upon Dharamraj, and then she got a son called Yudhishthir. And then all the demigods in the skies, they said that this boy is going to become the emperor of the world. So he is going to be very, very virtuous, very, very saintly. He is going to have real good qualities, and he will be really qualified to be the emperor of the entire world, the entire continent, the entire earth, not just India. And that time the entire continent was called Bharatvarsh, right?
Now you have a question. You want to take questions later?
You have a question?
Yeah, so basically, then Yudhishthira, she got sons, but then what happened to Karan?
That's
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
come to
The
Karan in
current
his own
story we'll do later, but right now she made a basket and made him float, and he went to some foster parents, and he was taken care by his foster parents, right? So he didn't drown, if that's your concern. He was really taken care of, and he became a great warrior as he grew up. Okay, so now as Maharaj Pandu was very happy with Yudhishthir, and he saw that those qualities were really coming up. Like when you grow up, those qualities really shine within you. You can make out that this child is going to be very sober, very kind, very gentle, not harm anybody, not inflict any pain to anyone, right? So all these qualities were being seen by Pandu and Kunti and Madri, that Yudhishthira is really growing up with these good qualities. Now Pandu had this desire that he really wanted a child who is really, really strong, full of strength. So, Selvi? Because he's really, really strong, and for strength you need to have good food, right? So then that gives you good health also, right? But he used to eat a lot, but he used to also work a lot, like use his energy in the right direction. So so then he had these supernatural powers, right? And he was very, very strong, just like Kabir. Okay, and so then there was a voice from the sky again, and they said, call this child of Vayudev, call this child Bhim. Okay, so now there are two children, okay, Yudhishthir and Bhim. Now Pandu also wanted one more kid. Now he wanted Kunti to get this kid from Indradev. Okay, so Indra then gave this child called Arjun. So when Arjun was born, then the skies, they also proclaimed that this child will be really a devotee of the Lord, and he will have very, very good qualities, and he will be a great warrior. Okay, so now we have 3 kids already, right? Kunti has 3 children, and Bhim was actually so strong that when Bhim was a little baby, he was sleeping next to Kunti. Suddenly Kunti got up and saw a tiger in front of her, because this is the forest, right? This is right in the middle of the forest. They are bringing up their children, right? And when she saw this tiger, she became really scared. And what happened? She got up with a jolt, and the child who was lying next to Kunti actually rolled and fell from the mountain top, from the peak of the mountain. But she noticed that nothing happened to the child, but the mountain peak actually broke into many pieces. So we can imagine that how strong Bhim was. A little baby, when he fell from the mountain peak, the mountain peak, he didn't get hurt, not even a scratch came on his body. So he was that strong.
But what if that? Basically, if you punch water normally,
Yeah,
it just splash up and fall into you.
yeah,
But it wouldn't hurt it.
yeah,
It
exactly.
would hurt you instead. But from this, beam just basically like
Did
the
the
opposite.
gravity.
Did the opposite.
He hurt
Yeah.
the mountain.
So now the other queen, Madri, also wanted to have children. So then Kunti gave her, mantra to Madri, and Madri also had 2 children called Nakul and Sehdev. So that's how there are 5 brothers: Yudhishthir, then Bhim, Arjun, Nakul and Sehdev. So these 5 brothers are called Pandavas because they are Pandu's sons. Okay. So now what happened in due course of time? Yes, Kabir?
We had last time in last class when we were doing it at Hanu Didi's house, we had discussed that the Pandavas and the Kauravas were fighting and the Pandavas had won.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
Even when the Pandavas were 5 and the Kauravas were 100.
Yeah,
There were
exactly.
more troops on the side because Krishna was also there and some other gods too.
Yeah. So in due course what happened, Pandu died because of that curse of the sage, right? And now Kunti, we can see Kunti has 5 children. Yeah, Madhuri, Tanya is right, she sacrificed herself with Pandu, and now Kunti is left with 5 children. So everybody told her that it's very difficult to bring up 5 children all alone in the forest. You please go back to Hastinapur, and there the kids will be really taken care of because Dhritarashtra, their older uncle, is there. Bhishma is also their uncle. Vidur is also their uncle. All these wise people, elderly people will take care of the children's education and their upbringing. So Kunti, we can see in that picture that Kunti is actually leaving for Hastinapur and she is taking all the kids along with her. Now, as soon as they reached Hastinapur, do you think they got a very, very warm welcome?
No.
Yes and no. They got warm welcome by the elders, but they got a very, very cold welcome from Duryodhan and his 100 brothers. 99 brothers. They were not at all happy to see them, and they actually had so much of envy and jealousy from day one.
But there was another brother when Guru ran the speed. His name was something. He was good.
Yeah, he was kind. There was one brother who was kind to them, but the rest 99 brothers were
98.
were very, very envious and jealous. Because why? Because they had such great qualities already, and Duryodhan was not exhibiting any good qualities, right? He had lot of jealousy and he was always very full of envy, right? So now this Duryodhan now started thinking, how should I actually break the strength of these 5 brothers? Who is the most powerful and strong? Bhim. So he thought, if I actually somehow or the other kill this Bhim, then how many will remain? Out of 5 minus 1 is 4 brothers.
There'll be 5 now because of Karna, but he's gone.
Yeah. So there will be 4 brothers. Yeah. So there will be 4 brothers left, okay, and their strength will diminish. So he thought, what should I do? What should I do? So then he said, okay, let me plan something. So he made a beautiful, nice, when we go for a holiday, yeah, that comes later. But before that also he planned something. Yeah, he poisoned. He made a nice.
But it made him stronger.
Yeah, exactly. So everything that Duryodhan was doing against the Pandavas were actually all the problems. Yeah. So all the problems. What was happening to all the problems that they were facing?
Is that Bhim?
Yeah, that's Bhim. See,
He's
he's
getting
really-
poisoned by snakes.
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
bit by poison by snakes, but he's becoming stronger.
But
He's becoming stronger, but
why is
So I'll tell you something very funny what Bhim used to do to the Kauravas. We know what Duryodhan did to Bhim, right? So like the they would go to the Gurukul, right? It was full in the right in the middle of the forest. So there were a lot of trees with fruits and all. So these Kauravas would climb up the trees to pluck the fruits, and Bhim would just not knowing, he wouldn't know, he would just go and take a back rest, and he would just want to scratch his back, right? He doesn't know that the Kauravas are on that tree, and the tree would shake so much that all the Kauravas would fall from the tree. Now, is this Bhim's fault? No. Right? Like if I want to take a back rest, I would just go and lean against the wall. He just, yeah. But they would take it otherwise, right? They would think that, oh, he's doing it
He's doing it with
purpose. Yeah, exactly. So these kind of things Bhim would do without knowing, right? Like he would have a mango and he would just throw the seed, and the seed would go and land on Duryodhan's head. So is this any fault of Bhim's? No.
It's the seed's fault. It's going on Duryodhan.
Exactly.
Or
So
maybe he was holding a TV and by mistake he threw the TV and he was
टीवी उस टाइम में होता नहीं था कभी. Technology wasn't that was.
yeah.
This is the
It's almost
Yeah. So then he poisoned, what he did was he poisoned Bhim, but after poisoning what he did was he tied Bhim up and then he threw Bhim in the river Ganges, and Bhim like went, kept on drowning, going right at the bottom, at the seabed, at the river bed, and there were lot of these sea snakes, like river snakes, right? They started biting. They started biting Bhim. What happened, like Bhim had already consumed some poison, right? And the snakes also have poison in their fangs. So one poison and the other poison actually got neutralized. So when it got neutralized, Bhim actually came back, in consciousness. He came back to his consciousness, and there this Naga, one of the main ministers of the Naga, was actually Kunti's grandfather. Okay, so he recognized Bhim and he really worshipped him. He said, wow, Bhim, it's so nice to see you, please come. And he took him to the king of the Nagas, Vasuki. And then Vasuki actually, when somebody comes to your house, like Bhim went to this house of the Nagas, so they wanted to give him some gift, right? They wanted him to have some nice nimbu pani. Like when we go to somebody's house, we get to drink nimbu pani or some cold drink or something. So they gave him a full pot of nectar, right? And this nectar is called Razi nectar. This nectar, if you have even one big bowl of this nectar, you'll become really, really strong. And Bhim didn't have one sip. He had 8 bowls of those nectar, right? Not one, but he had 8 bowls. Yeah, and those 8 bowls actually gave him the strength of 10,000 elephants.
Oh God.
Imagine, he already had so much strength, and we know how much strength he had, right? Imagine 10,000 times more. And when he went back, now look at this. When he went back, everybody got to know, like everybody knew. Yudhishthir went back and said, we think that Duryodhan has done that. Vidur told all the 5 brothers that just tolerate it, just don't talk about it to anybody, just don't enhance and increase more enmity between each other. So remain calm and please tolerate this and let go of this, right? So Yudhishthir actually did not criticize Duryodhan, he did not criticize his brothers, but he stayed calm. So
Yeah, but imagine if Bhim's on Jupiter and then he just puts one foot and
Yeah.
then it breaks.
yeah, exactly.
Because all the weight goes on one side. 10,000 elephants.
Wouldn't the ground fall if he takes a step?
So-
And what if Bhim was holding a big mountain and a house on top of it and by mistake he threw it on somebody?
So what do you think, these so many problems?
Then how will he fit in the palace of
No, the strength is within himself. It's not showing outside. internally now he has so much strength. Not that he's expanded.
How will he step without breaking the ground?
Huh?
How would he step without breaking the
No,
ground?
but when he wants to use it, he can use it.
Then how will he?
Yeah? Yeah, suppose he doesn't. Suppose he wants to, we want to invite him. He's not going to use his strength here. But suppose he has to fight a demon, then he has to use his strength. Right? In the right way. So what do you think problems that they were facing led to what? The problems that they were facing. Bhim was, yeah, to progress, right? He progressed so much, right? Yeah, the problems empowered him, gave him more powers. And what about the pain?
Muscles.
Yeah, gave him muscles, yes. And pain leads to purpose, right? Now they have a purpose that they are going to use their strength for a good purpose, not for, yeah, not for bad purposes, right? Thank you.
Okay, so that's all for today. And yeah, playtime.
But there's something.
Any questions? Anything? Huh?
Whose birthday is today?
I don't know.
Mama's birthday is coming, no?
Ask.
Kapil, your mama's birthday is coming.
Today it is.